Hi guys, welcome back to our podcast. So I think firstly we just want to say thank you so much for all the amazing feedback from the last one, and it actually went quite well, I think.
Did, yeah. Both of us are like very, very surprised by that.
We didn't know how it was going to go.
People liked it.
They did like it, which we didn't get trolled in.
No.
So we thought, right, round two, and mostly because we also didn't cover a lot of the questions that we wanted to cover as well. There was just so many. We touched on the kind of main ones that in obviously the first one, but we definitely want to get through a few more today. So we just get straight into it.
Yeah, we need a name as well.
We do need a name.
If somebody comes up with like a really good name, you get free coaching off of Nikki for a year.
It's got to be good though. And it's got to be Nikki dominant then. It's got to be like Nikki featuring Lou.
We want it to be, I'm not even asked you.
Yeah.
We want it to be something that's like about us like lifting the veil on all the bullshit that's in that's on the industry.
Well, you did say that name.
I said it should be called Lift the Veil.
Quite like that.
I like it.
I quite like that.
But also thinking I need a new coaching business name, so I might want to use
I had to use that in. Featuring Nikki.
Somebody give us something else.
Yeah. Ross and that said, you should call it, no, it wasn't Ross actually, it was a guy in the gym, Lewis, said, we should call it peak performance, and I was like, too far.
Oh, I know.
That's too far. It's a bit cringe, isn't it?
Yeah, and then people wouldn't, it doesn't represent what we do.
That's a good point.
No, we don't do anything about peak performance.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So if anybody can help us out with that, please help us out.
Free coaching for a year.
Yeah.
From Nikki. Anyway, right, so we just crack in.
Well, let's go for it. Okay.
Right, I'm going to start with this one because I did say somebody had asked it and they replied back when I put the podcast up, and I felt terrible because we hadn't replied to it. So I said it'll be the first one we answer.
Yeah.
So, for someone with a chronic health condition, number one, how do they stick to a workout schedule? Number two, how do they push themselves without caffeine? Actually, there's a lot of numbers here. So, for someone with a chronic, how do you work around having a chronic health condition, also wanting to be fit and healthy?
Yeah, like your best self. See, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because there's so many chronic health conditions out there. But see, for me personally, I just think, again, it's the whole, you can only do what you can do. And I think don't set your standard too high on, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. Like for me, I would say, okay, well, what can we do? What is the issues depending on what the chronic health condition is, I suppose. And from there, put a plan in place and say, look, it's like anything though. It's like, here's the plan, but when does the plan ever go to plan? So it's like we can put a plan in place, we can work around whatever issues we've got, and it's just a case of you manage it as you can. Like when you're good to do it, do it. If you're having a really bad day, depending on, like if it was someone with like, name something. Fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
Something like that. If someone's having like a massive fibro flare-up, a lot of them can't get out of bed that day, or a lot of them really struggle that day. And it's like, well, we're not going to be on their arse going, we really should be in the gym. You really should be training. Like you almost need to know your own limits and kind of say, look, what can I do? I'll maybe just go for a walk that day. I'll manage this. Like there's always something that can be done. But I think with that kind of thing, you need to be careful because it is a case of don't put so much pressure on yourself and compare yourself to what you should or could be doing versus what you can actually do. What do you think?
I would just agree with that. I think I made a little reply on my Instagram story, but my advice was like, set the bar low.
Definitely.
That sounds shit, but genuinely manage your own expectations. Like 100%. Set the bar low. Don't be shooting for something ridiculous and then, you're never going to get it anyway.
Yep.
And if little things in a day will probably add up, and there will be days where you just can't do anything.
Of course.
It's like how you respond to those days that are going to matter, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's like, do you let that day then control your next day and your next day, or do you wake up every day and go, how do I feel today? How do I feel today? And move on from that. Manage your expectations. Start really basic and simple.
Definitely.
I always say to clients anyway, even if you don't have a chronic health condition, and again, this comes across the wrong way, but it's not meant to be, you're trying to get away with doing the least amount possible to get the best results. So it's like the minimal effective dosage. Everybody's trying to do that. Of
course.
So it's like, what can you do minimally to get the most results before
Absolutely.
It's like, you want to eat as much food as you can. You want to maybe train not as little as you can, but you're not trying to throw the kitchen sink at it.
Yeah, of course.
So I would say minimal effective dosage.
Yeah.
Take every day as it comes. Work with a coach.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think it's having that mindset as well of not putting so much pressure on yourself, because it's even, it also, I suppose, it's not a chronic health condition, obviously, but it does tie into the question about how do you balance the whole kids and thing. And it's like, you can only do what you can do. Do you know what I mean? And you can't feel shit about that, because it's not for a lack of want. So someone with a chronic health condition, that poor soul is obviously wanting to do A, B, and C, but if they can't do that, they can't then be hard on themselves and be like, oh, I'm a failure. Oh, what's the point? Oh, I'm just going to give up. Like, you can't think like that. You have to be kind to yourself in the sense of going, right, how am I feeling today? This is how I'm feeling today. This is what I can manage, and be okay with that. Because otherwise, what's the alternative? You just don't do it.
That's why it's invaluable to work with somebody.
Absolutely.
Because you can, like, bounce that off of that person.
Yeah.
And they'll have that person by your side saying, it's fine, or, like, we need to change your thinking around this or whatever. We need to start thinking about things differently. So, yeah, that would be advice.
Definitely. But something I definitely will look more into. Like, I don't really have anyone with chronic health conditions. I've worked with one in the past that did have fibromyalgia, but again, it's not something I'm so clued up on. But with her, it was a case of you have to manage what you can manage and not
That's a really
beat yourself
difficult
up.
one,
Yeah,
Fibromyalgia,
definitely.
that's
Yeah.
a fucking minefield.
Yeah.
Okay, move on.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to go ask one, or do you want me to just click through this list?
Go for it. There's a few, yeah.
So there's one on, there's another kind of heavy hitter, so we may as well ask it. So how does the menstrual cycle affect training, especially with people with PMDD?
Yeah.
Or extreme PMS or PMDD. PMS, PMDD, very, very different things.
Yeah, very different things.
Do
you want to explain what PMD is? DD is first, sorry?
Yeah, I've written it down because I'm definitely going to forget what it actually stands for.
That's why I asked you to do that.
Premenstrual dysphoric disorder.
Yeah.
I know what PMDD is, I just didn't know what
it's easier to say PMDD than that.
So it's obviously like an extreme version of PMS to the point where you have PMS symptoms heightened by 1,000,000.
Yeah.
If you already are in pain with PMS, it's like times that by 1,000. It's also severe depression, severe anxiety, can't get out of your bed. You know, it can be debilitating. Do you know what I mean? For folk.
It's pretty much PMS on steroids.
Aye, very hard to get diagnosed with as well, which can be very frustrating for females because you really need to, we all know you need to push fucking hard to get it diagnosed anyway these days, but doctors will dismiss it. It needs to really have a big impact on your life, like your work life, for that you to get diagnosed with it. So usually you'll get palmed off with, you know, just you've got bad PMS and go to your bed.
Definitely.
So very difficult to work around. I've had one client, I think only ever one client that had it.
Yeah.
And we actually didn't know she had it until like quite far into the coaching journey, and it actually obviously made a lot of sense once we realised that.
I was going to ask, did you notice like round about her cycle time, like was it a big mental shift for her, or was it more she struggled to adhere? Like
it would always be like the 7 to 10 days before her cycle.
Yeah.
It would always be that time. I think that's common for most people. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
very. I think that's when it comes around, and it was always like, it was like that week for most females, but on steroids, like you say. Definitely. It was like she would. It wouldn't just be I'm struggling. You know, I've kind of fucked up a little bit. It would be like non-existent. Like haven't left the house. Haven't even thought about the gym.
That's a shame.
Haven't anything that was on her radar was just off her radar.
Yeah.
And it was like black and white. It was like she was really good, and then it was fucked.
And was she aware of that herself, or did she just think it was a case of? Because you know what I've noticed, right? So, see, for me, I think it's so important for women to track their cycle. And a lot of people think it's a fitness thing or it's just a coaching thing. And it's like, no, because see, if you understand the stages of your menstrual cycle, you understand what you're going through and realise that, like, I'll use myself as an example, right? In that luteal phase, which is that kind of lead up to menses, it's probably like from day 14 to day 28 in a regular cycle, something like that, day 12 to even day 28 or 30. That's obviously that luteal phase, right? So that's that phase where we're in a low hormonal profile stage, but progesterone comes up. And when progesterone comes up, it actually affects like what's called the frontal cortex of our lobe, right? So that's the front part of your brain. It manages left to right, but it also manages, it's like your hormone stabilizer, right? That pretty much goes out the window, right? So I notice, because I track my cycle, that, for example, in that luteal phase, I'm feeling more emotional. things that wouldn't irritate me, like a good roasting for Ross, I'm taking it personal.
Yeah.
And even he's like, hoofed, are you sure your period?
Yeah.
Things that wouldn't irritate me previously, like I've noticed it with the kids and I'm good at this now. So it's like things that wouldn't normally irritate me, like Aaron slamming something against the floor or chucking something against the wall. I go from like 0 to 100 and I'm like, whoa, girl, you don't normally respond to that like that. Like, why are you so quick to anger? And then I realise, I'm in that fucking luteal phase.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually affecting my hormones. And I just think, see, there's power in knowledge, right? There's so much power in the fact that if women understood the phases they were currently going through in their cycle, they'd be aware that it's not me. Like, I'm not a crazy person. Like, I'm not crazy depressed. Like, it's here. It's heightened, but it will also pass. And there's power in knowing that.
Yeah.
It's like with me, like I said, with things like that, I'm good at going, Nick, you're just in that phase. Like, you're not crazy. Things like this don't usually irritate you this much. Rein it in, girl. Do you know what I mean? And I'm aware of it. And there's so much knowledge in that. And that's why I was asking her, like, did you notice that she would have, like, periods of the month where she was like...
Yeah. But I didn't know about PMDD at that time.
Yeah.
So actually the only reason I found out about PMDD was there's a bodybuilder called Kerry Sexton who's married to Mark Hector.
That's right, yeah.
And she did a mini series. I don't know how many episodes she did, but I remember she brought out one episode, and she's a really successful bodybuilder.
Yeah,
but she's
brilliant.
got PMDD, and she brought out a wee mini series on YouTube about it. And I was like, what? And I was like, what is PMDD? And I went on, and I was like, oh fucking hell. And then I don't know, like I don't know if I was talking with my client. I don't know how we put two and two together, but I was like, I've been reading about this PMDD, blah blah, and she was like, that sounds like me. And then I was like, now that you say it, it does sound like you. And then we kind of started putting two and two together, and eventually we realised that's what it was, and she started reading up on it, which was really important.
Definitely.
In terms of like, the question was how to manage your training around it.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. Like we will do, and we just said this in the mail, we will do an entire podcast episode on your cycle in general, training around it, menopause, perimenopause, all that kind of thing, because that's a rabbit hole that we're not going to go down.
Yeah, that's a podcast in its own. Like,
let's
not go off on a tangent.
You need more time in that, but so like in terms of to train around about it, like use your initiative. Be like, you know, don't just not train because you're not feeling great. With PMDD, that's different. I would say probably need to manage expectations again. Working with a coach is really, really important because they can help you with that in terms of coming in and out these big dips and peaks 100%. And troughs of like
because you manage it together.
Depressive episodes, you know what I mean? You can manage it together. And maybe put a plan in place where you don't train on those days or that week, and that's your expectation. Like,
absolutely. Do a deload.
If you have terrible PMS, or we've spoken about clients that have got endo, like, again, you'll put plans in place for them to not train or deload or something like that.
Yeah.
If you're just a gen pop person that doesn't have a coach and wants to know how to manage it yourself, just take each day, day by day. Maybe don't, if it's bad PMS, I hate to say it, don't lie down to it.
Yeah,
but like,
definitely.
If there is days you do need to lie down to it, you need to just be self-aware enough to be like, actually, no, this is not going to work. Like, but today will be fine, kind of thing. So there's not, again, the fitness industry, there's not one answer. Yeah.
No, there's definitely not. You pretty much just hit the nail on the head. It's very person specific, and we say that about everything. So it's if you're someone that, I think a lot of people say, I'm on my period and I hate training because my strength isn't as great. And it's like, of course it isn't.
Yeah.
Like, and that's totally cool. But it doesn't mean it's a wasted session. I said this to you in the car. Like, if you're someone that, say, pre-period, you're able to leg press like 150 kilos, but then you're on your period and you're struggling at 130, it's not a bad session if you're still struggling and you're still getting it out. Like, don't write it off as, what's the point? Like, because it's all going to come back up again. Like, just stick it out. If, let loose said, you're someone who's absolutely crippled and riddled with cramps, we're not going to be like, go train.
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know yourself. It's one of those things. It's like, can I train? It might not be the best session, but it's better than doing nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
With PMDD, lifestyle changes are a big one. If you are overweight, carrying excessive weight, if you have like an extremely stressful life, you know, these things, managing these things will help.
Definitely.
You can get medication from the doctors. You can go down the whole antidepressant route if you need to, want to. Some people do CBT therapy, things like that will help them. You need to trial some stuff. What I would say as a kind of final statement is, try stuff, and then like if it doesn't work, don't just write it off. Like, definitely, you know, give it an actual fucking good decent try. Don't just do it once and go, not for me.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Because people do it all the time, and it's just
they do that all the time. Okay. Hopefully, like we said, guys, we're going to... I know that it's one of those ones where it is a huge topic.
You can't talk about
No,
you can't talk about it in 10
yeah,
minutes.
we're going to actually do a podcast on this and we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. That was just... Hopefully that answered some of the questions just now, but more to come. We are going to actually cover this.
Yeah, we'll deep dive it.
You will deep dive it. But for now, no. Okay. Next question. What are you thinking? What about... Okay. Going off on a wee tangent. What about this one? With all the new evidence of ultra-processed foods, are we saying that fat-free foods are good for your overall health, or are you better eating the full-fat version without all the added shit in small quantities?
Good question.
It's a very good question.
Very good question. UPF is another buzzword these days.
It definitely is, right? Personally, I do think you're better eating the full-fat stuff.
100.
Not all the time, but...
100%.
Yeah, because
especially as a female.
Yeah, because what people don't seem to understand is, like, ultra-processed foods, right, have gone through, like, they're being manufactured, right, so... But they've been broken down where all the goodness is kind of getting taken out of it. And it's like they've been pumped full of, like, additives and preservatives and fucking sugars. And people tend to think, oh, but it's better for me because it's less calories. But you're also like,
what the fuck's
but
in
it's massively nutrient deficient. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I had to say you can have 0% fat yogurt or you can have full fat Greek yogurt. Yeah, there is a huge calorie shift there, but you're also getting vitamins like A, D, E, K, all these kind of things that's so much better for you.
There's like two parts to this story, because firstly, UPF, like, what is deemed as UPF really? Because you could go down a rabbit hole here. Like, everything's technically processed. Like, there's people's ideas of what UPF is very different. Yeah. So you need to kind of determine what you're actually talking about with that. If you're talking about, are you better to eat a full fat option of something as opposed to a fat free option? Yeah. That's a generational thing to me. That's like very like, let's look at our parents' generation, where it's like everything's like fat free, like get a fat free option, like, your mum was always like doing like these diets, or like, like, that's quite generational. I think hopefully this generation's coming around a little bit more to like the fat doesn't make you fat. Yeah. Right? We know that. And you need fat. We should know that by now.
I think a lot of people forget that as well. We need fat for hormone production and all these kind of things.
Your brain is made is what, like 70% fat? Yeah. Something like that. So I remember reading once, this is not the exact scientific term, which is going to kill me, but your brain has like all the like neurons at the end of your brain that kind of fire out. Apparently they're all like wee cotton buds, right? And the end of them have got little balls of fat, and that's what fires the neurons around your body to be like cognitive functioning or whatever. Like, so if you don't eat enough fat, those become hard and brittle, and they don't fire the same. So if you're not eating enough fat, that's why you get shit brain function. That's why you can't remember things, or you're like, fucking, who the fuck am I? Yeah. Because you're not eating enough fats. Females, hormone production. Fat soluble. Some vitamins aren't soluble without fat, so your body won't take them in unless
like A, D, E, K, like all those ones.
You need fat to absorb those vitamins, or else they won't be absorbed into your body.
Absolutely.
So the reason people don't eat the full fat option is because it's higher. So fat's higher calories, which we know it's higher calories per gram than carbs or protein. Fat doesn't make you fat; it's just more calorific. Aye. So it's easier in a diet if you're reducing calories to take out fats, because they're the most calorific. Yeah. So if I'm having a meal, I remember when Ross, when I had my first photo shoot meal plan, and Ross gave me, obviously you had to have a certain amount of fats in your diet to like for hormone production, whatever. And I would have never. This is why it was a blessing that I did this meal plan, right? Because if I had done my own macros, would I fuck have ate the fats right? I was on 1,000 calories a day. I was not eating. One of my meals had 15 cashew nuts in it, right? So all my meals were chicken and veg by the end. Yeah. And one meal had like 15 cashew nuts, and I remember thinking, I'm fucking raging about that. I just want to eat a bagel. Like, give me a bagel thin over these fucking stupid cashew nuts. Yeah. And I was like raging that I was eating them. You wouldn't do that. You would go, well, fuck the fats. I'm just going to have more carbs. Yeah. Because it's too. You're getting more for your buck. You're getting more. That's it. So it's too easy to drop fats out your diet. I think most of the time you should be going for the full fat option and taking the hit on the
Aye,
bang
on
for
the
your
volume.
buck.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's something I've learned the hard way. You're probably much better at that than me. But I think sometimes it's not a bad thing to have the lower fat version.
Oh, definitely.
If you're going to go down the route of UPF, that's a fucking minefield.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, right? We're talking about just in general what's better for you, I would say, right? And what's better for you is the shit that hasn't been filtered through
100%.
like and broken down, and like if you're eating the real thing, you're getting all the nutrients that come with it. Whereas a lot of these other things, like have you ever tasted something and it says like 0 calories, 0, and you're like, why does that taste like that though? Like what's in that to do that? Do you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah,
that could open up another can of worms of like
100%.
this fucking 0 calorie, that, like artificial sweeteners, like all this stuff that people are mental for, and then wonder why their stomach's fucked. Their
classic,
digestion's away out the window. It's like, how much shit are you putting into your body?
So
just 'cause it's 0 calorie.
Had a client who, I'll not say names or anything, obviously, but
say it.
She's like, straight now, fucking better
like,
say my name.
Don't say my name.
And me and her were talking about it, and she said that she would eat the pure 0 fat yogurts because they tasted good, but she would have like 3 of them a day rather than have like actual foods. Yeah. And I'm like, but no wonder you were shattered. No wonder you felt shit. No wonder like your hair, skin and nails went to shit. No wonder like your digestion was in the pan, because it's these things in moderation are fine.
Yeah.
Like I love a sugar-free drink. Love it.
Sugar-free
There
syrup.
we go. Sugar-free. Like that's a soy latte with
Which you never
double
let me
sugar-free
taste.
vanilla. Oh shit, do you want to try it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go and try it. So I do in moderation, but majority of my food is like nutrient-dense foods. I told you. It's the soy. It's sweeter. Soy, guys. Mostly for my digestion. But yeah, so it's like we do love these things, but don't think I can eat hundreds of them because it tastes good and then wonder why like you're getting all these mad fucking insulin spikes and all that as well. It's like you need nutrient-dense foods.
Yeah, it's again, I'm going to bring every question back to working with a coach because you should, but they'll give you the knowledge and this stuff.
Yeah,
and like,
absolutely.
Like again, like, you know, I know that this is going off on a tangent again, but like you can't see if you're walking about bloated, like gas, like indigestion, like all day, every day. It's not normal.
Yeah.
And how many clients you take on that go, and you've got a column in your check-in sheet for like digestive issues if they need it, and it's like yes, and they're like, but that's just normal for me, and I'm like,
yeah, and it's not normal.
Be.
Yeah, it definitely isn't.
I've always just had that.
I've only ever pooed once a week.
It's like,
but
that's not normal.
But that's not normal.
It's like you need to understand that your body should be working a little bit better than that. So, that's down a rabbit hole, innit? But
yeah, people need to get out of the mindset of thinking it's quality. It's quantity over quality.
This is when a calorie isn't a calorie.
Yeah,
because it's like, you know, you've got 1,500 calories. Eat whatever you want as long as it fits within that. Cool, aye, you can. You feel like a bag of shit.
Aye.
But then if you actually watch what you're eating and you're mindful and you put in good stuff and maybe it's not as much volume and it's not these big crazy stupid meals. Instagram is full of it, all these dafties that are making like these pure voluminous things that are like 0 calories, like all these big things that are making it bigger and bigger, and I'm like, why does everyone need to be massive and like just eat some normal food, man?
Yeah.
And like take the hit on the quantity.
I know. But it's so weird how backwards the world is, and the fact that it's cheaper to eat shite than it is to eat good quality foods.
I know.
Like, see the amount of money I spend on fruit these days. Like, even because I love fresh fruit, and the kids eat hundreds of fruit. But we were talking about this in the car on the way over. Like, in Marks and Spencer's, did I pay £4.50 for mango? Yes, I did. Was it worth it? Yes, it was. Because their shit tastes.
That's good, I know.
Why is it so much better than anything else?
So good, isn't it?
Why is it like the fruit is brighter, everything's better? Like, why does it taste better? Why does it taste better? What are they watering this fruit with? It's Evian. They're going about with Fiji water watering their fruit.
It's another world, isn't it?
It's so good.
I love it, man.
I know.
So good.
We know we've made it when we can shop M&S.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about me over here. Life goal is I've said that for years, man. My life goal is to, when I retire, weekly shopping M&S.
Yeah.
I'll accept nothing less.
I agree. See, I also know I've made it when I can do that, but also when I can pay someone to blow dry my hair. anytime I want it.
Oh, really?
Oh, I hate blow drying my hair.
Oh, just don't give a fuck about my hair.
Oh, I hate it. That's when I know I've made it. Ross said to me, if you won the lottery, what's the first thing you would do? I was like, I would hire someone to blow dry my hair.
What?
I swear, and he's like that to me.
Oh,
I go wild,
no.
Nick, and I'm like, no, seriously. That to me
Each to
is
their own.
like,
Each to their own.
aye, definitely.
You've got lovely hair.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Sharice.
Right, let's
We're
move
getting
on.
there. Yeah.
Right, like, okay, we'll batter through some quite easy ones.
Yeah, let's go with that.
How does it feel when a client beats you in a leg press? I know who asked me this.
Who asked you?
Nicole. Bastard.
Did
can
she
leg
beat you in a
press
leg
some
press?
amount of weight, by the way.
Hate it, I know.
Fucking bitch.
I know.
It's sad. It's sad. Everybody can out leg press me, so it doesn't matter.
We just hate you. No, you're actually quite... Well,
No.
hack squat, you dominate.
Hack squat, I dominate the hack. And I say I dominate. A couple of people do more than me, which is quite annoying.
You do well. 90's
alright.
good for a hack squat.
90 is good for a hack
It's
squat.
very good for a hack squat.
Um,
I'm probably in the leg extension and horizontal press.
yeah, you are up there.
I'm kind of queen in there. I'll take that.
We've all got our strengths.
Aye.
Weird that, innit? It's like leg press, I'm fucking terrible at. Hip press or horizontal press,
You're good at
alright.
that. Yeah.
Hack, banging.
Which
Pendulum,
is everybody's hardest. At least but here's the thing, you're the best at the hardest things. Is that
I'm the
not you
best
want to
at
be
the quad
at?
stuff, even though I've got no quads and I'm a arse. How that?
You do have a great arsehole, Lou.
Well, it's a shame.
You really
it's
do.
not that
I
I'm
hate
sitting
you.
down in it.
I know. Should do this when I'm standing up next time. But I'll sit down.
Right, okay. Let's do this one. What's a myth fad that you previously believed when you first got started?
That I would get fat if I ate after 8 p.m. Apparently your metabolism just stops working after 8 p.m.
Yeah, I
Just
love
go to
that
bed
one.
and wake up fat.
Your
Professor
body
Plum.
just shuts down.
That's that. Just stops. It just goes, you
Just
know
die.
what?
Just die overnight
done.
and then you wake
It's
up in the morning
bedtime.
alive.
Everything just stops working.
How does that work when you go on holiday and the time zone's different? Your body's like,
no.
what time do we stop and eat that tonight?
What's happening here? Yeah. But that was a big thing. And it's also a lot of people have that misconception. Don't eat after this time. Why not?
When did you stop believing that? When did you believe that? Before you were a coach?
Probably, yeah. But again, it's listening to what I was told growing up.
Yeah.
Like, fruit, too much sugar in fruit, but I'll happily devour that fucking block of
Love
galaxy.
that one. I love that when people go, oh no, I don't eat too much sugar in fruit.
Too much sugar
Or,
in fruit.
I don't eat carbs. Do you eat fruit and veg? Aye. Do you know they're carbs? Oh, aye.
100%.
So you don't eat bread?
Yeah. But it genuinely is one of those things where it's just knowledge, innit?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
what I'm
and
saying.
I'm laughing, but some people
Yeah.
you don't know and you don't know.
No, it's like hair. If I went into hairdressers and they says do this, I'd be like, why?
Yeah,
I don't know enough
true,
about
yeah.
that.
You don't know
Aye.
what you don't know.
You know
Aye.
what you know. But yeah, that was one that I used to be. And see if I ate after 8 p.m, but I'm gonna wake up fat, stupid bitch. Like, I did this. I genuinely was like, and I could see it the next day. I could easily get up and be like, it's because I had that fucking banana after 8 p.m. Telling you.
Shows you how much your mind dictates everything, because there's no way you would look or feel different, but
No.
because you know, you're like, oh, that's me fat.
Aye, that's me. Fat bitch.
Just because it's something, a daft rule.
Aye, because it's
Nothing
something
else has
so
changed.
stupid. Aye. I know. What was yours?
I don't really have any of my
Do you know
stuff
it?
fads
None
that I
that you
believe. No.
thought-
I said in the last one I did the whole like no carbs on non-training days.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I ever had any like myths or fat. I'm sure there was, but I can't think about it offhand. I always ate like when I was getting married. That was when I was first starting to train, and I was like, I'm going to watch what I'm eating. I'm not going to drink. So I stopped drinking beer, but I drank other drinks. I just didn't drink beer, which probably helped me. But I was like, I'm not eating shite, blah, blah, blah. So what I would do was like,
Right.
like instead of eating crisps and stuff like that, I would eat nuts. Right? I remember sitting at night and if I was having a drink and I'd be like, I'm not eating crisps because they'll be terrible. So I would eat almonds, right? Has MD ever ate almonds? Stinking. Right? Especially just
Not the
whole
best,
almonds.
and they're not in it. Aye. Almond butter's alright,
Oh,
but
aye, but see like whole
yeah.
almonds,
Nah, they're a bit.
dry, they're minging, right? They're not nice. Maybe the flaked ones, right? But nobody's eating the whole almonds saying they're nice,
The
right?
flavoured ones.
There's ones with chocolate on them. They're class.
Smoky House barbecue almonds. Fucking healthy.
These are brilliant. So I would eat almonds and I hated
Right,
them
okay.
and they were stinking. But
Yeah.
I was like, I would eat hundreds of them because I was like, well, fuck, I'm not eating crisps. was probably 17 times the
Yeah.
calories of just eating fucking crisps.
Oh, easy.
But I was
Aye.
like, well, it's better for you, innit?
It's better for you.
Aye.
Yeah,
I
a
was
lot
like,
of people do that.
Mental. So
Yeah.
I was actually swapping out maybe 300 calories for like 800 calories.
Yeah.
But in my head, I thought, that's better, isn't it?
Aye. But it's
'Cause nuts
funny
are
how
good for you.
it's no different in the whole, and everyone will probably agree with this, maybe not. I used to do the whole back in the day where I'd be like, right, that's it. Monday I'm on the diet. Right, I need to eat all that chocolate now so it's gone because Monday I'm on the diet. And then you totally fuck it and be like, I'll start again next month.
Yeah, no. Like,
And it's like, all right, Nick, you've just consumed about 4 Mars bars, you fat bitch, just because you were like adamant in your head, but then they're gone.
Yeah,
That's
no.
it.
then the next weekend, you're like, they're the Mars bars again. When you get rid of it.
But I know we're
How'd
laughing
they get
about
in my
it.
house?
We are laughing about it, but it is something that you look back and just think,
That's stupid.
I'm actually happy people are hearing this, right? Because see if my clients listen to this and they'll go, you didn't do that. And I'm like, I did it all.
Yeah.
Listen, see the reason I've got to here is by doing all the shit that you've done and more so.
Aye.
I've done it all. I've tried everything. There's nothing. I say this to girls when they start me. I'm like, listen, there's generally nothing you can say to me that will surprise me. And they'll be like, oh, there is. And I'm like, no, tell me. And they'll tell me stuff. And I'm like, oh, please. I've done that like 8 years ago. Still,
let me tell you
learn for
something.
that. 100%.
Oh, well, there
Yeah.
we go. Right, okay. First time stepping into a gym.
Mm-hmm.
Any advice? Total alien. Brand
Okay.
new.
I would definitely say get yourself an induction or a coach. Probably an induction to start.
Induction to
yeah.
start.
So go, just ask for the induction. Do you know what I think it is as well? It's remembering that you're going into a place where, see, no matter what MD looks like, whether someone's massive or someone's completely shredded, we're all in there for the same reason.
Yep.
We're all in there because we want to feel good about ourselves. So even if you're in there feeling self-conscious yourself and seeing Shreddy McShreddy in the corner and thinking, I can guarantee if you spoke to that person, they'd be like, well, I'm here because I'm insecure about this, or I hate this, or oh, I'm just not big enough, or oh, my glutes aren't big enough, or like, oh, I hate my cellulite, my legs, and it doesn't matter what body shape, frame, size you're, we all have our bits. We certainly do. Instagram's got it so warped. Like, so warped.
Yeah, I would agree. It's a hard one, isn't it? Because if you're going in with set beliefs and preconceived thoughts, nobody can say otherwise. It's going to make you change that.
Of course not.
Somebody could say, well, just remember this, and you'll go, I still think this.
Yeah.
It's like me I used to say to clients, but nobody's looking at you.
Yeah.
But me saying that to them, that's not going to change the way they think. They still think, but they are looking at me.
Yeah. And I've done that with a client actually where she did think that, and halfway through the session I says, I want you to look me straight in the eye right now. And she was like, okay. And I says, tell me another person in this gym. Tell me what they're wearing. Tell me what they look like. Tell me that. And she was like, I can't. And I'm like, because you've not been looking. And she was like, yeah. And I said, well, that's the same as everyone else. Like, everyone's so worried about themselves. They're not really caring about what everybody else is thinking. And do you know what's so funny? People in gyms have this thought that everyone in gyms is really up their own arse. When, see, in general, when you speak to these people, you realise that they're actually dead helpful, and they're actually dead, I've been there, and I totally understand where you're coming from. And this is one thing that I love about our gym, Irving's Peak Performance. It is that vibe of everyone helps everyone. I love that. Like, I saw a girl the other day, she couldn't, I think it was the chair, she couldn't figure out how to manoeuvre the chair. And one of the girls literally walked over and was like, do you want a hand with that? And I was like, yes. This is what it's all about. It's people just supporting people spotting each other, people kind of... Because let's be honest, right? It's like the high school thing. You worry about going to high school because you think, I'm going to get my head flushed in the toilet, I'm going to get battered or picked on, and it rarely ever happens. It's the same in gyms. Like, you would need to be a right prick to look at someone that's came in, that's nervous, that's trying to better themselves and think, look at the state of them. Does anyone really do that?
No, and I think we're going to be biased, and because we know as well, but private gyms are much nicer places to be than commercial gyms.
Probably. Yeah.
I can attest that from working in both.
I've worked both, but even still, I'll be honest with you, I've never actually heard them been like,
I've never
what are they
heard
doing
them
here?
No, it's just...
You need to be a total...
The scariest people are the nicest people.
100%.
Was what I would say, but...
Yeah. Because they've been there, and it's funny, if you spoke to them, I always say to these people, like, see if you're so nervous about that, I would say to someone that you'll look up to, or like, oh, like, just ask them how they're getting on or ask them how they got there, and they'll turn around and probably say to you, listen, I've been where you are. Do you know what I mean? Like I said last time, these people didn't walk out the womb in that shape. They've had to go through a process. Like, they look that way because they feel a certain way about themselves. And 9 times out of 10, it comes from insecurity. And it's so true. Even myself, like, so classic example, right? This is a whole Instagram versus reality thing. I'm about to slaughter myself here. So I put up a picture where I was like, I've dropped the baby bait, starting to feel myself. This is like, all right. So posted the picture of me in a bikini top, was feeling brave, and I'm like, no, let's be honest, we know our angles. I know my angles, right? Posted that picture, not 5 minutes later, it was like a couple of weeks ago there in summer, we were having a barbecue, kids are out the back playing with the pool, and I'm bending over to pick up something. So Ross is taking pictures of the kids running about the sandbox and all this. I'm looking for these pictures, like, oh, let me see a cute picture of the kids.
Is it terrible?
I'm not even joking, right? There's a picture of me bent over, roll central. I nearly died off. I was like to him, get that fucking deleted. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, Ross, look at me in that picture. And he's killing himself laughing. And I'm like, that cannot exist in this plane. No one can ever, if you ever post that, we're getting divorced, get that deleted right now. But I was laughing about it as well, thinking, compared to the picture that I just posted, where I know my angles, I know it go up a bit taller, versus that, it was like, we all have our bits. Yeah. Every single one of us.
I know. True. Yeah. Well, that kind of covers that, I suppose.
Yeah.
I would say if you're somebody who can't shift by the idea in your head that, like, people are looking at you, this, that, and the next thing, I have a very good technique for that.
Okay.
Which is like a thought cycle exercise that you can use, but you need to ask me for it. I'm not giving it out for free. That's it.
Well, what was it?
I'm not going to say it because it's invaluable coaching. I can get paid for this shit, man. Fuck's sake. Can I give all my secrets away? I'm never going to get paid again. Gonna be fucking never going to get paid shop in M&S, am I?
Yeah, that.
Fuck's sake.
If you want to know the answer, guys,
DM
click
me,
the link
DM
below.
me answer to find out. DM me the word answer. I'm laughing. I'm fucking putting all that shit in my Instagram now as well. I hate it, man. DM me shredded if you want to come up with me, bro. That's a nick, innit? I'm my own nick now. Do I ask one or do you want me to ask one?
So, well, I don't know if this kind of covers into what we just covered. I basically got asked, how do you stop comparing yourself to other people in the gym?
Don't.
Which is a hard one.
You'll never get over that.
Do you compare yourself to other people in the gym?
Yeah.
Would you say that you're happy in your physique at the moment and you're no?
No. I'm not like million miles away from it, but I mean, you know, you are happy in yours just now. I think you're
I've got my bits.
I don't think anybody's ever...
Yeah.
I mean, when I walk about 70 kilos normally.
Yeah.
I was 58 kilo for my photo shoot and I was not happy. Where does it end? Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Like, you're never going to be completely happy. See, if you're chasing this complete happiness, I read something the other day and it was like, happiness isn't the end goal. Happiness is like, it's basically to do with, instead of constantly looking to seek happiness, just try and constantly be happy with where you are, rather than thinking happiness is the end goal. It's like, try and just get a bit more comfortable with, like, you are where you are. And because how many times do you look back on a photo for 10 years ago and go, oh my God,
thought I looked fat there.
Look fat there. I bloody wish I could be there.
But I think, do you know what I think as well? So I ask clients this, right? When they do compare themselves to other people, but when we're discussing, like, say we're going to a weight loss phase, say they've got a goal, and I'll kind of say to them, let's manage your expectations here. Like, what do you think you should look like? Like, you know what I mean? No one's ever happy. No one's ever happy. And do you know what's so funny? I genuinely feel like, see, in society, we don't have a weight loss issue. We have a weight maintenance issue. Everyone's constantly wanting to build and cut. And it's like, but what's what do you think you should look like? Like, do you think you should look like her there? Because a lot of people, I think it goes by your misconception. Like, growing up, right? In our era, growing up, it was all about the waif look. It was this whole Victoria Beckham, Kate Moss,
like straight
up and down. Yeah. That was the look. Nowadays, look It is better, but it's also harder because it's like, it's girls with chiseled abs and fake boobs, and they're now get implants in their arse and all this, and it's this whole fake, and it's like, do you think you should look like that? Because see, if that's what you're chasing, you're never going to be happy.
Yeah, and we also did touch on the way over here. This sounds like we have a 2-hour drive here, by the way.
I know, we really do.
By the way, on the way over
We have
here.
a podcast of the podcast to let you know.
Maybe now they do that carpool karaoke
really
with James
should.
Corden. We should just do
Just
that in the
follow
car.
it in.
Anyway,
That's what carpool karaoke.
but just us talking pish. Although we need to censor out a lot of names.
Yeah, we really do.
Like,
Beep.
Anyway, we're talking about this, like, this is off on a tangent, I'll go back to you, sorry, but how I don't think generationally or in this generation, people are aware of how many people, male and female, take drugs, assisted drugs, to look a certain way.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of these Gymshark people, My Protein people, whatever they are assisted athletes, whether that's things
100%.
like Clen, Yohimbine, whatever that may be, like
100%.
fat burners, or it might be at the other end of the spectrum in terms of things that are going to help them build or give them extra testosterone, whatever that may be. A lot of these people, way more than you think, especially females, are assisted.
Yeah.
So you're looking at these people going, that's what I want to look like.
Definitely.
Number one, you're never going to look like her because she looks like her and you look like you.
Yeah.
Number two, you do realise she's taking stuff to stay like that.
But she also doesn't look like that all year round.
Yeah.
She's probably, if you spoke to her on that photo shoot, fucking miserable and starving and is like, I can't wait to finish here to go eat.
Yeah. Loads of people, like, it just, you're right, like, you can't, to say just don't do it is bad advice, right? Because we all do it. You can't say you don't ever compare yourself to somebody.
Listen, it's like, I just said that you're arse.
Like,
right, but you've got better genetics than me that way. Am I going to make myself miserable trying to chase the low-proven arse?
I mean,
you do realise though that every time you're at the gym, people are going to be
people
like,
are going to be like, what is her arse look like?
Thinks it's fabulous too. No,
I'm going to walk about.
But
yeah, I've got a good arse.
Again, this see, we're doing it. We're doing it already. We're comparing. But just because I'm like, I would love Lou's arse, it doesn't mean that I'm so down on myself, but it took me a while to get there. In my head, it was what everyone else does. I should look like this. She's got abs. I don't have abs, right? So I really don't deserve to wear a bikini because I don't have abs. Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah, you're definitely better at that than I am, I would say. Better at not. You're more comfortable in your skin than I would say.
But it's took me a long time to get here. And do you know what it was as well? I remember sitting, when we done our photo shoot, not together, but we were prepping at the same time. And I remember being the leanest I'd ever been and feeling shit and thinking, technically, I look the way I want to look, but I'm not happy here. And I've got no sex drive whatsoever. In my head, I thought, I'm going to look this way and it's going to be like, Ross! And I'm going to be like, woo! And it was
terrible.
like, don't touch me. I'm not in the mood.
Yeah.
No. And then I think, who wants to live like that? Or I can just feel good in my bikini and like feel good for me and know that Ross fancies me and I quite like me and I'm good with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it took me a while to get to this place of, Nick, you really don't need to look perfect. And see, to be honest, none of you people care what I look like in a bikini. Let's be honest, because everyone's so focused on themselves.
Yeah, you care about it more than anybody else does.
Absolutely, but in your head, it's so much bigger than that. In your head, it's like, but I'm a coach. I should look this certain way.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure being a coach.
100%, and it's taken me so long now to go, do you want to know something? I work out because, one, I do love training, and don't get me wrong, I'm not standing here saying everyone should be happy the way they are, because when you feel good in yourself, life is good. But you don't need to be perfect. I don't need to be shredded, but I know that when I'm in a happy place, when I feel good in my body, there's a confidence there.
Yeah.
Everything's better. And you'll agree, like, your relationship's better because you've got that confidence. It's like, you feel sexy and it's like, oh, this is happening and the light is staying on. It's like, do you know what I mean though? It's like, when you feel good in yourself, it's great, but don't put the pressure of, I have to look like this to feel good in myself.
Yeah, definitely, because, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not perfectly happy the way I look, but I'm not miserable. I'm kind of like, you know what? I've shifted my baby weight. I'm never going to have the tightest tummy that I had. I'm never going to look that way again. I'm going to have stretch marks. I'm going to have fat bits. But I'm cool with that because I'm at that age now where I'm like, the only guy I really care about looking at me, let's be honest, is Ross. I'm not doing it for anybody but myself, and he loves me the way I am. My kids couldn't give a shit if I was 10 stone or 20. I train hard so I can happily wear my size 10 jeans and enjoy off-plan meals, and I'm good with that.
Do you think as you go through life, and especially as you get older, just your values change and that changes
100%.
what you think about yourself?
Oh, 100%.
So if you think about like pre-kids,
Definitely.
whatever,
Yeah,
your
the pressure.
values are so different. So then you do have more of a, like, you value more like specific things about your own body, your own this, your own that. Whereas it's like, then you have other people to think about, or other things as life goes on, you just change. And then you think, well, actually, I was speaking to my cousin about this yesterday actually, and she was like if you had all the time in the day to do whatever you wanted, but you loved like drawing, right?
Yeah.
And then your coach is going, but you've got all this time in the day to do your steps, but you're like, but I really fucking love drawing. Like, it's like my
100%.
biggest passion in life. Like, I don't want to go and do 2 hours of steps. I want to do 2 hours of drawing. It's like, okay, like your values lie somewhere else. Like,
Definitely.
like, let's work around that, rather than like, you know, that as life goes on, that changes and that changes what you value more.
Oh, absolutely.
You know.
And it's so true. Like, I just want to be happy in me. And do you know what's so funny? The happiest me isn't a shredded abs Nick. The happiest me is the Nick that can go out and have pancakes, and that I do eat. Don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here saying like I eat shit. I don't. Like, I nail my diet 80% of the time. And the reason I do that is because I want to enjoy the other percent, and I still want to feel good in my clothes, and I still want to feel good in a bikini.
Yeah, balance.
It is that balance, and anyone can have it. But I think where that became easier was taking the pressure off of thinking, I should have abs, I should have zero cellulite, I should have, and it's like, no, but you should, that's not normal. This is just society making it sound that way. If you went back in the day with no social media and you saw people walking down the beach, they're very normal bodies, and that's okay. Do you know what I mean? But for me now, especially, it's all about, like, I had my kids later. I had my first one at 36. I want to live till I'm 90. Do I want to diet and have like a shit immune system, shit everything falling to bits because I want to be thin? Or do I want to fuel myself with really good body, be on the ball with my nutrients, feel great and live a longer life? That's kind of more important to me now than, oh, but I wear a size 10 jeans. Do I walk about with my label sticking out? Who gives a fuck?
I know.
Do you know what I mean? No one looks at you. If someone walked into the room right now, we're not going to look at her and go, oh, she's definitely 70 kilos. Maybe 80.
I know.
But everybody's obsessed with it.
I know.
Why?
I know. I don't know.
Just the best advice I can give someone, I say to my clients, is stop thinking what you should look like, and instead, why don't we just get you banging for you? Why don't we just like get you in the best shape for you, and you look in the mirror and go, do you want to know something? I'm really happy with that. Don't think I'm really happy with that, but I should be in my size 8 jeans. Why? It's maybe just not your frame. It's not my frame. I'm not built like a scale. I'm not Victoria Beckham. I've got tits and an arse and a lower. Do you know what I mean? I'm never going to fit in size 6 jeans. And if I am, I'm unwell.
Yeah.
So it's like, manage your expectations, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. Good answer, mate.
Thanks. So that chat in the car, podcast in the car on the way over.
Oh, do you have my stomach there? For fuck's sake.
So you guys aren't aware of this, but last week my stomach rumbled all the way through this, and at the end of this we were like, did you hear your stomach? And all I thought was,
I was convinced I was going to pick up the mic the whole time of you just
100%.
going,
and it never usually happens
they
to
must
me,
have
but
cut it out.
they've done well.
They'll need to cut
Well
mine out.
done,
It's
bulletproof.
fucking
You
rumbling,
guys
man.
have smashed it.
Okay, let's move on. Quick one. Do you think you could go one entire day without oats? No. What a life! What a life of misery. Aye.
I know.
No. That's that. Moving on. Another wee fun one. What artists and bands are a must-have in your gym playlist?
Oh,
we could go on. I could go on about this forever.
see, we laugh at this because I'm really uncool compared to you. You're like the cool chick.
Well, fun fact, I actually did my degree in music, so that's what I thought I was going to do my whole life. So I, like, all through high school was like really musical. Played the guitar, played piano to a degree, drums, that kind of stuff. I actually played the saxophone. That was my first ever instrument. Yep.
Wow.
And I went to uni and did a music degree, and then went to try and be a music therapist, and I didn't get in. So, and my dreams were shattered. So, music is like my thing.
Okay.
If I wasn't a coach, I would definitely be doing something to do with music.
See, you listen to all the cool stuff. Like, I just...
Cool stuff.
See, well, you listen to, like, rap and all that, and I don't know how you can be doing a heavy...
like a pure 9-year-old woman. You listen to all that
You
rap.
do. I just can't relate to it. Like, I feel like when I'm listening, I'm like...
I can't relate. Jink, I relate to rap. Fucking walking about the gym relating to rap, fuck's sake. It's just a good
But
beat.
you're like, whereas I cringe, because, like, if you came over to me and was like...
me walking
Nick,
about listening
no,
to
no,
rap.
no. I mean, like, see if you came over to me and was like, Nick, what are you listening to right now? I'd not lie. I'd be like, think you sound cool, think you sound cool. Whereas Elton John is blaring in my headphones, and I'm like, think you sound cool.
What do you listen to when you're training? What would be your go-to? Like 3 artists is your go-to
Oh, see,
listen to?
I just like... Right, this is generally a thing. If you had to say to me who's... I love, like, ACDC and, like, all that kind of thing. I'm more rock, I'd say, but... See, right now, I couldn't name 3 because I just put it on shuffle and I'm like, I like what I like. So 1 minute I could be listening to, like, Nickelback, and then it would be, like, Machine Gun Kelly, and then it would be, like, the Moana theme tune, pure plain. And I'm like, oh, it's great.
That sounds like...
It's
this
so
is
random.
another reason we're chalk and cheese, because that honestly sounds like my idea of absolute hell.
That's what I'm saying. I know that. Like, if you came over to me...
fucking hate them.
Love ACDC.
Moana, get it in the bin. I've never even seen Moana.
You've just
It's really
lost half
brilliant.
our audience.
I
All the
know,
mums are like,
I don't really like...
I'm going to remind you that. If you
I don't
ever
really
get...
like Disney. Sorry, I know.
That's the end of this
obviously,
podcast.
I'm a pure golf fan. I don't like Disney, but like...
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. You were laughing at me last time I said that.
I don't really like Disney. Sorry.
But this is what I'm saying though. I like what I like. So it's like I would listen to like Hans Zimmer, and then I would listen to like...
Hans Zimmer, class.
Yeah, and then I would listen to Disney, and then I listen to like... It could be anything. Like I just like what I like. I hear something I go, I like
I
it.
wouldn't specify artists. As much as metal is probably like my favourite genre in the world, like I am a metalhead at heart.
Yeah, you are.
I wouldn't listen to it in the gym. It doesn't do anything for me training.
Nah.
Like David walks about listening to like fucking like
That's when you know
insane shit, and he's like pure doing all that, and I'm like, oh, it does nothing for me, man.
Yeah, see,
like,
I'm the same.
Like Ross always puts out. He's always like, see if he's doing a big set, he's like, go and put on a big metal tune for me, and I'm like, really? And he's like, aye.
I say I don't.
Doesn't do anything for me. Like for me, like that playlist. So see the Sub-Focus and Dimension.
I'll give you that.
set,
That's probably love it. Yeah,
it's on SoundCloud. I can't remember where it is from. I listen to that every leg session.
Really trancey music.
It's
I love
so
a beat.
good.
It's like my spin tunes.
That's
I need
phenomenal.
I need. Well, we laugh at this because Lucy, you're getting named. You like Lucy's playlist
I like
in the
Lucy's
gym.
playlist. It's like
Horrific.
what is it like? Is it?
It's like
I'm gonna sound like a gran here. Is it like? Is it like
Techno?
Techno? No, it's not.
Right. So here's the thing.
Is it trance? No, it's not trance.
No, is it here? I need a drop. This music's like,
Yeah,
and then it ends, and I'm like,
Some
I
it's
need a
wild,
drop.
some it's wild, but some it's like well fast, like do.
It's
You're
too
like,
much.
It's and you're like, oh.
That's when you know you're getting old. See, we're like, oh, the young team's playlist.
I like the playlist.
Nah,
it's heavy
too
duty.
much.
Something if it's on in the morning, it's mental.
If it's dance music, I like the build, and I need a drop. I need that. Oh, here it comes. Like
I love a bit of drum and bass.
Yeah,
I love a bit of Chasing Status, Dimension.
love it. Yeah, okay. So we're on right. So we're okay there. Yeah.
I love metal as a genre, not for the gym. I love a bit of grime and a bit of...
What's grime?
Grime's like sort of... I mean, I don't really know what grime is. Like Skepta. Like, I love a bit of Skepta. I love a bit of like... Grime's a little bit like London-y sort of rapping.
Oh, no.
Sort of like,
no.
love it.
See, that for me is like, no.
The Skepta album, Konnichiwa, is like, oh, it's top tier, man. That was what I actually listened to it yesterday when I was training.
That sounds like some weird order of a Chinese restaurant that you just said
Konnichiwa.
there. Skeptic Konnichiwa. Can I get the Skeptic Konnichiwa, please? Like,
That's a sushi roll.
with the extra sweet chili
shout out
sauce.
MD who come see me in the gym if you listen to Skeptic Konnichiwa.
Come see me in the gym if you want a bit of Elton John.
Right, anyway, I thought it was going to be a short one, but it's not.
Yeah, it just shows how uncool I am.
Somebody asked any advice for somebody who can't afford a PT but doesn't remember how to use all the machines. Not to be cheeky, but I would say, like, go on YouTube.
Yeah, but
it's not hard.
Gym staff, hello, that's what they get paid for.
Yeah.
Like, go ask the gym
staff. If you
staff.
don't remember how to use a machine, like, fuck about it. You
100%.
know, the amount of times I've fucked out with something, I don't know what I'm doing when I go into gyms.
YouTube tutorials are king. That's how I learned how to very first train.
Yeah,
YouTube tutorials.
Somebody in a gym that works there. Yeah, you don't need a PT. Really, if you're getting a PT just because you want to learn how... Very few people get a PT just to learn how to train.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
they think they're getting a PT to learn how to train, but they're not.
No.
So it's very rare somebody comes to you because they just want to learn how to train. Although it is nice because I like that side of it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'd love
But
it if everybody just
again-
came because they wanted to learn how to train.
No, I sound like my gym management. I've worked in so many gyms, and that's what the fitness staff are there for.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
you're not annoying
And
them.
if
Go
they
over and
are,
ask them.
if they are arsey, but let's be honest, I've worked in places where folk aren't happy when you come and ask them a question.
That's ridiculous.
That's
though.
their own issue.
Yeah,
that's
that's
a them problem
ridiculous.
and not a you problem.
Yeah,
so if you
that's
go and ask somebody
100%.
something and they're an arse about telling you, they're
Yeah.
just a wee arsehole that works in a gym because they think it's an easy job.
But see, 9 times out of 10 as well, I've had so many people come up to me, just in like me regularly training, they don't know I work there, and just going, sorry, you were using that, how do you? And I'm more than happy to show
Yeah,
them.
ask somebody.
Like, you need to be a bit of a prick to be like,
But there is pricks out there.
well, there is, yeah. Rare, but there is.
Do you want to ask a question or do you want me to ask a question?
Go for it. I've not got mine up yet.
So this is quite a good one. So how to train... You hear that?
That was quite loud.
How to train or stay consistent training with diet, etc., general day-to-day if you have ADHD. ADHD. Did I say that right the first time? ADHD?
ADHD, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Minefield.
It's definitely mine. I think, again, with ADHD, like, I'll be honest, I'm definitely not. This is why I'd love to get Erin in the podcast, because
Erin's
she's all over it.
podcast, I was going to say 2 people to follow would be Erin Thompson. She does a
100%.
podcast called Take Up Space.
Yeah.
And she did a little mini-series on ADHD.
Yeah, because she's
and-
got ADHD,
Yeah,
so
and
she's...
how to train with it and manage
Yeah.
it and stuff. Emma Story Gordon, ESG Fitness, she's
Yep.
also got ADHD. And if you don't follow her, every female and male on the planet should be following her.
Mm-hmm.
If you like this podcast and you like the vibe of like no bullshit facts,
Yeah,
like Emma Story Gordon is basically
yeah, she's fab.
the pinnacle of that.
Yeah,
She's like the godfather of no
Yeah.
bullshit. So she's a brilliant person to follow. She puts a lot of tips up.
yeah.
So those 2 people I would suggest to follow. I've had 2 clients that have had ADHD.
Yep.
ADHD. Did I
I've
keep
got-
saying that wrong?
ADHD. No,
Am
you're
I
right.
just saying it fast?
I think you're just saying it fast.
And what I would say is everybody's really different. There's
Yeah.
not like you couldn't line up 10 folk with ADHD.
Oh,
and
no.
they'd all be different
Totally.
variations, forms, whatever. So one thing isn't going to work for the next person. I tried multiple things. So I coached one person years ago that had it, which didn't know they had it at the time. And I coached one girl recently who I put up in my story, who won't mind me saying her name, Danny,
Yeah, yeah.
because I put it on my story,
Yeah,
on my post, who had it. And we got a really good result from her.
yeah.
And we had to throw a lot of shit at the wall to see what
Yeah.
stuck. Because certain things just stick with certain people.
Definitely.
Some generic tips, what I would say again is try stuff. If it doesn't work, keep trying it.
100%.
Give it like a month. If it doesn't try for you, move on. But some things that some people will say with ADHD is like, do things in the morning. Like, so if you're looking for that kind of dopamine hit, you're
Yeah.
wanting to get that early.
Yeah,
So some people will say if you're train first thing in the morning, or do something first thing in the morning that gives you that feeling of success, like tick off a task and be like, that's the start
Yeah.
of your day. That'll give you that boost, that hit. A lot of them speak about really solid regimented routine,
yeah,
like
yeah.
not having super decision fatigue. So like say for instance when it comes to things like your daily routine, like exercise in the morning, journal if you journal, get all the shit out your head, write down your thoughts,
Yeah.
have a very strict time block your day
Yeah,
into time blocks, which everybody should be doing anyway. Eat the same food or eat 70% of the same food day in,
Yeah.
day out. What you're trying to reduce is your brain having to make so many decisions because you're already thinking about 500 things.
yeah.
So the less things you need to think about and make a decision on, the better.
Definitely.
So if you can go, well, I eat this for breakfast, I eat this for lunch, I eat this for dinner, blah, 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 and that's what I eat, that's one less thing your brain needs to make a decision on that day.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, 100%. Like what you said, I've got a girl with it just now, and for her, I always say to her, like, just set the main objectives, because for her it's like a procrastination thing. So if there's too much,
Time blindness as well.
she'll be like, "Oh, I can't do anything," and she won't do anything. And it's like, let's just set the main objectives. Let's like put everything else in the back burner. What do we really need to achieve today? And just focus on them. But like you said, like the whole organisation thing is like so important. So for her, it's like she has to be on the ball with her meal planning and stuff, because if not, she gets really, really overwhelmed with everything. So yeah, like I said, it's not something that I'm massively clued up on, but again, it's definitely a hard thing. I can see her really struggling with it, but do you want to know something? She's an absolute superstar in the sense that you can see her in it and you can see the anxiety and you can see everything's going a million miles an hour, and it's like, just focus on what you need to do. Like, just, sometimes it's like you just need to go for it. You just need to push through it and just do your best.
There's actually, just for, in general for people, but especially if you have ADHD, there is apps for, like, there's time management apps, all right? So we all know that on the iPhone and stuff like that, you can set limits on app times, like, oh, you only want to set, but all you can do there is set a time, like a time limit for the day, so you can set it down to 2 hours, right? But that you could have that 2 hours at any part of the day.
That's good.
You can get apps that you can download onto your phone that block off certain apps of your day, like say social media apps, but at certain times. So you could block off Instagram, TikTok, etc. from 7 in the morning till 10 in the morning, and from 7 at night till 10 at night. So you physically can't get on those apps at that time if they're. So rather than waking up, this goes for everybody. But if you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is open Instagram and start scrolling it, you've got a problem.
Definitely.
Right? Or TikTok or whatever. That is a terrible habit to get into. It's how you're starting. You can't start your day like that.
It's true.
It's really terrible for a number of reasons. So if you can block off apps that are going to give you even more procrastination and distraction, if you can block them off first thing in the morning and last thing at night, you're at least giving yourself a chance.
100%.
That's one less thing that you can't procrastinate on. Can't put your energy into.
I'd agree with that. Like I think it was you I was telling this to. I only scroll now in the evening. Like, I do not allow myself to go on it, and see the difference in doing that. It's like night and day. Yeah. Because I tended to find that I would sit and I'd scroll through and things would irritate me, or certain people would irritate me, and just, it would ruin my day. It would set the tone of my day. For your day. I know. And I'm like, what am I doing? Or you see all these folk that are out, like, they've been up 5 hours earlier than you. They've already done 5 things, and you're like, oh my God, they've been up for 5 hours, and like, you're like, what are you doing? 100%. The minute I stopped doing that and just stayed in my own lane with it all is when things got better. But you do need to police yourself. Like, loads of my clients are like, you need to get a TikTok, you need to get a TikTok, you need to put this in TikTok, like, it'll go, like, you'll get so much traction on it. And the business side of me is like, we need to get this on TikTok. We did speak about this. The sensible side of me is like, don't you fucking dare get this in. I don't want the app on my phone for a start, which I have downloaded and still not set it up, because I'm like, I don't want to do it. I actually have a TikTok and I don't know how to work it. Well, I don't want to, like, I got one, and then I'm like, I don't want it in my life. And I know that for business it'll be good, but I'm like, all I hear for clients, for people is like, this, TikTok says this. Well, what this is on TikTok. Oh, I was looking on this on TikTok, and I'm like, how much time are you spending on this fucking TikTok? It's true. Do you know what? It's something that I agree with you. I'd love it from a business standpoint, but see, in general, like, even now with my Instagram, I struggle. Like, and I keep saying to myself, Nick, you have to get better at this. You have to start posting more, and I just can't be arsed with it all. Maybe that is a niche thing as well. I'm now at the point where I'm just like, hard. I'm on the train with the ruin. It's honestly, I'm so over it. Graft, I'm like, I should be doing better. I should be putting out more content, like good content and stuff like that. But I just cannot. It's a graft. I'm just scunnered. That's what this is for, isn't it? We'll just clip this up into 40 reels, and that'll do you for like a year. Every day. They'll be like, there she is on all these fucking reels, man. Lazy bastard. Shite. Fuck's sake. Just your content, just the same thing. Like, I know. Right. Do you want to ask one? No. Do you want me to start? Yeah. If you've got them up, it's because I've not pulled that up. You lazy bastard. I know, I'm such a lazy cow. Is muscle memory a real thing? So how long, if you were taking time off, how long would it take to get that, or like, would you lose all that muscle forever? No. I don't think so. It depends how long you take off. Yeah. It's much quicker than you think. Like, you would get it back much quicker than you think. Oh, 100%. It's like, you're not going to go on a 2-week holiday and then lose any muscle. It's just never going to happen. I think if anybody follows Dr. Mike, that Renaissance periodization, he's really good. He's really good at talking about stuff like that. He's really good in general. He did a thing on it about, I think he said something like, if you took something like 8 weeks off the gym, you would lose a certain amount of muscle. Yeah. You would get it back in something like 1 to 2 weeks. Easy.
like of just going back to your training. And that's 8 weeks a long time.
Yeah.
Most people that are asking this question are talking about a week when you're not well, 2 week holiday.
No. And
like,
they do worry about that. I have clients that will say, I've totally undone all my progress. And I'm like,
you can't lose
took
it.
2 years off of heavy lifting because I had babies back to back. And now I'm back fairly lifting what I was before. Like, the body's an amazing thing.
Yeah, if you take a big time off, you will lose muscle. There's no doubt about it. But you fucking get it back.
Forever.
And if you've had muscle, you'll get it back quicker than if you were brand new. You know, actually, that's probably a lie. You get it quicker than you think. Building muscle is a slow process. It's not for the it's not for the faint-hearted. Like, it takes a long fucking time. But if you've already got it and you're taking a bit of time off,
but that's not us saying, like, take all the time off, because it is one of those things where the longer you take off, the harder like, you want to be in a good state. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be like, I'm just not going to train, and then when I go back, I'll be where I was. It's not that.
No.
That's not what we're saying.
Very few people are going to think that, like, how much time can I take off?
We're just more saying, like, when clients say I was unwell for 2 weeks, I've not been to the gym, I've lost all my progress, and it's like, you haven't. Yeah. Like, it's not like that. Like, you could even, the body's an incredible thing. Like I said, I went from lifting really heavy, I had my 2 babies, I had a lot of kind of pain around my pelvis and stuff, so I kind of took a big amount of time off, like leg pressing and all those type of things, and now I'm back fairly decent. And that's after 2 years, and it didn't take me 2 years to build it back. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah,
you get it back quickly.
Yeah, 100%.
Let me see. Right, okay. Oh, this is a good one. How to sensibly maximise your off-plan or favourite off-plan meals? This question came from one of my clients who is a small female, which I think is why it's a good question to answer. Because let's look at this. If you're most people watching this are going to be females. So we are on the taller side of the female spectrum. Yeah. Like, maybe not super light, not in the 50 kilo.
Well, let's see what bracket. We are. Like, I'm 5'5.5", 5'6". You're about 5'6".
5'6"?
Yeah, I'd say you're 5'6".
Oh, right, okay. I thought I was taller than that. No, 5'6".
I'd say you're about 5'6", yeah.
And I'm probably, I don't know, weight-wise, about 70 kilo, maybe under that. I don't know. Not that it really matters. But
I weighed myself this morning and I'm 68.5.
Right, okay. So we're probably roughly the same.
Really the same,
body weight. I know my maintenance calories is probably about 2.5 to 2,600-ish. If you are 5 foot and below, right, you're a small female. Yeah. Right? You're not going to get away with eating as many calories as a bigger female, right? Taller or a bit heavier, whatever. Yeah. We don't live in a world that is, like, very conducive to, like, being a small female, right? The world's not built for small females in terms of calories. Yeah. So if you look at the average meal out, I think in the UK, I think the average meal out, probably dinner-wise, is about 1,200 calories.
Easy.
Now, that's close to a small female's...
Yeah.
Not far off a small female's maintenance calories for a day. Let's say their maintenance calories are 1,500-1,600. Yeah. If you don't weight train, potentially less than that.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? That's your full day's calories nearly away in one meal. So it's difficult to fit a meal like that into your week along with your other food and not gain any weight. Yeah. And that is if you're doing it sensibly. Yeah. Most people don't eat off plan sensibly. No. Right? Because they don't. Right? They just I used to say to clients, just be mindful, right? And then I thought that's a terrible thing to say, because what is there mindful? If you normally get a large Domino's with 2 sides and then you have ice cream after it, to you, mindful might be just getting a large Domino's. Yeah, absolutely. Still nearly 3,000 calories.
Yeah. Oh, easy.
So, and
it's easily 8.
Yeah. Like, so a large Domino's pizza's average about 2,500 calories. Yeah. If you're adding on dips and stuff like that, or crusts or whatever, you're talking nearly 3,000 calories.
Easy.
Knowledge you can't unknow, folks. Yeah. Gutted.
You definitely can't unknow that. And yet, we still do it.
Still do it.
We're obviously not going to do it.
If you're trying to fit that into your week. So, how to sensibly fit things like that in, you unfortunately aren't going to be able to have certain things, or if you do, you're going to have to take the hit on them now and again. Not. And you're going to have to really manage your week calorie-wise to fit that in. That does mean pulling calories off through your week. So for instance, pulling off a couple 100 calories every other day to fit that into your weekend. That's with knowing what your TDE is and what your calorie allowance is and stuff like that. You need to trial and error that. So it's the difficult one. And there's no magic answer around about it.
There's definitely not, but there's also, I would, right, put it this way, right? I'm going to use myself, right? I'm not eating pizza every week because pizza's probably the worst of the worst you can eat, right? It's really carb heavy, it's really fat heavy, takes your body a lot longer to shift it out, you retain a lot of water after it. So I probably have a pizza once every, when was the last time I had pizza?
Probably not that often. I don't have
Never.
it that often, to be honest.
Once every 3 months,
Yeah,
something like
lucky.
that, right? But that's because I'm aware, right? If I eat pizza, that's really going to offset my week, right?
And obviously we're generalising this. Depends what pizza you have. But
We're generalising. And we spoke about this as well. Like, we're not bodybuilders. Like, I love my food. If I want pizza, see, to be honest, you're definitely more of a bodybuilder. I'm off the rails. No, like, I'm one of these people where, see, my thought process, I'm a big believer in it's not what you do occasionally it matters, it's what you do consistently.
Yeah.
So me having the occasional pizza isn't going to fuck up anything. No. If I weigh myself that week, I'm definitely coming in heavier. It is what it is. If I have pizza, however, every week, I'm going to gain weight because I'm not just, let's be honest, I'm not just having a couple of slices.
No, you're not.
I'm a fuck. You put that pizza in front of me and I'm tanning the pizza, 100%. Right? So I know myself that's not the best off-plan meal for me to have. So me being mindful would be, classic example, me and Ross went out a cut last week. Me being mindful was saying, do you know what, I know something? I really want that starter. I want the chicken and waffles. I know it's a good size. It's a fair starter. I'm not going to have the dessert because I really want that starter. I also want maybe some dirty fries with my main, right? So this is just the way I think. If I thought to myself, I'm going to have that massive starter, I'm going to have the steak with the dirty fries, a side of macaroni, a side that, right, now we're ripping the arse here.
100%.
That's been mindful, right? That's you're off the rails saying, it's my off-plan meal, I'm just going to have it. No. You're now ripping the arse and you know you are. That's like when you're eating to the point you're bursting. Do you know what I'm saying? So in my head, I thought, no, I do want some dirty fries. Ross, we'll share the dirty fries. I'm going to have a steak, but I'm going to have the veg at the side as well. So that was the meal. So I had my starter, completely enjoyed the starter. I had the steak with the veg and I had some dirty fries. I skipped the dessert because I thought, now we're getting into it. Don't get me wrong though, see if I was in that phase where I'm like, fuck it, I want the dessert. I'm having the dessert, but I don't do that every week. Do you know what I mean? It's something that I've done once. When's the next time I go to cut? Do you know what I mean? So there is, you're absolutely right. There is a mindful aspect, but there's also knowing when you're ripping the piss, guys.
Yeah.
Which again, we do know.
If you work with a coach, which you all should be doing. It's trial and error for every person, and see when you're trying to discuss off-plan meals with people and trying to explain it, sometimes I'll just be like, do you know what? I'll explain it the basic terms possible, and then go, do you know, it's just trial and error. So every week, once you're having them, what we'll see is most people have it on a Friday or a Saturday. Right? Let's be honest, right? I was always a Monday check-in with us, so if I had mine on a Friday or a Saturday, my Monday weigh-in would be higher. Always would be, right? So let's say I'm up a kilo on the Monday, right? If that hasn't dropped off by the Wednesday, Thursday, I've ripped the piss.
100%.
Right? If it's not dropped off by the following Friday and then I add on another off plan, the next week I'll be another kilo up, and then the next week I'll be another kilo up, and then where does it end?
That's it.
So you know you're ripping the piss and you're gaining fat if your body weight is coming up afterwards and it's never shifting back down. You're ripping the piss. Right? If it's coming up and it's shifting right back down again, that's fine. You start to learn what you can get away with as a person. I know what I can get away with. You're the same. You know what you can get away with and what you can't. I know what I can get away with.
I'd love to eat Domino's every weekend.
So would I.
I would. Pizza's my favourite food.
Same.
I would but I know the consequences of doing it.
Well, after David's photo shoot, he was like, I've known the Domino's for so long. I think afterwards at some point I will get one. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I can't get one.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not worth it. Like, I know how many, I can't unknow the calories.
Yeah.
I just think I'll just get a pizza for somebody else and I know it's not going to be as bad, whatever. Like, now and again, I could.
Of course.
But after my photo shoot, I had one. But, like, it's just one of the things. It's like it's too much for me. I know that it doesn't sit. I know that I can't get away with it.
Yeah.
So I just think I won't bother. I'll just get something else. But it is, again, ESG, that Emma Story-Gordon, is a very good person to follow if you're a small female, because she does a lot of work on living as a small female.
Yeah.
And how you do need to be way more mindful than everybody else does, because the world isn't built for you food-wise. It just isn't.
Of course you do.
So it's really difficult. And it's annoying when you're looking at your other people and going, or you live with your partner, a guy who's like fucking nearly 6 foot.
Yeah.
And he's eating this, and you can't eat like your 6 foot partner.
No.
Like,
and you're right, yeah.
You're going to need to eat a different dinner.
Absolutely.
Like, you're wondering why you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You're living with a 6 foot guy and you're eating the same food.
Yeah.
You need to watch what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like, is it shite? Aye, it's shite. He's a guy, he's a 6 foot guy. It's shite watching him sit and eat a Domino's and not getting any weight. But such is life.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's thinking you're not entitled to be thin all the time. And what I mean by that is I don't mean that in a bitchy way. Like me, myself, I would love every day, right? My favourite foods are pizza and Mexican. See if I could live off pizza and nachos every day the rest of my life, I would. And technically I could, but what's the outcome? And this is what I'm saying. Yeah, it's looking at the bigger picture and going, yeah, it would be great to do that. Yeah, I would like, but unfortunately for me, my metabolism just doesn't work like that. I'm just not someone that can eat 3,000 calories a day and be lean or be, do you know what I mean? And I need to be on the ball with that shit. And that's why when someone asked us the last time, do you track your food? You're fucking right, I track my food. And I'll tell you why. Yes, everyone may hate MyFitnessPal, but that shit holds me accountable. That shit allows me to then enjoy the other good bits in life, the occasional bits. And guys, there is no easy way of saying it. Like, if you're someone that wants to feel good all year round, you want to be in shape all year round, but you also want to enjoy the bits, you need to take control of what you're eating. Yeah,
100%.
And it's that simple. There's no simple, like, we do it on a daily basis. There's days where I'm like, I could rip my face off. I want to eat chocolate. I could rip. Ugh! But you just say no.
Yeah, it's the hardest bit, isn't it? It's really tough.
Of course
everybody
it is,
struggles with it.
but we all go through it.
For numerous reasons, everybody struggles with it. Do you know what I mean? Like
100%. But you're also accountable to you. You can get the best coach in the world, but I hate to say it, unless I'm holding your hand and feeding you, you have to have a bit of accountability.
100%.
You need to be able to say no, and you need to understand that you are going to have days where you're hungry. You are going to have days where you're craving, and it is completely up to you if you give in to that or not. And by the way, you're not letting me down. Like, I do want you to do well, 100%, but you're accountable to you.
That's my favourite thing to say. I say it all the time at the desk, and then Ross will always laugh, because like any time a client will say anything to me, I'll just go, it's no skin off my nose.
But it is.
And then they're like, for fuck's sake, and I'm like, it isn't any skin off my nose. Do what
but
you want
it's
to do.
so true. Like, when a client checks in, I've really had this. I've had it in the past. They'll check in and go, my weight isn't coming down. And I'm like, well, go look back how you're checking. Look what you've put in your check-in. And Monday you had a pizza. And Wednesday you were out having drinks with the girls. And Friday you went to a beer garden. How's that my issue? And they kind of go, but my weight isn't it. Right, but that's a you issue. I've told you what to do to get your weight down this week. You didn't do it. That doesn't mean, that's not a reflection of me as a coach.
Or even worse, going, my weight's no down, and then pretending that you just
100%.
stuck to your diet. I'm like, I'm no stupid, mate.
100%.
I do this every day for a living.
And this is the thing I laugh about. By the way, even check-ins like that, to me, it's not a bad thing. I'm not pure judging the person for living like that.
Just say it, man.
100, like,
just say.
Was it you and Ross I was saying the other day? So I had a client come in who I just adore her, right? And she knows, she holds herself to her bullshit. So she literally breezed in the door at me the other day. It was her check-in day. And she goes, Nikki, I'm off the rails. I've ate shite all week. I've been on my periods. I've had this, I've had that. Work's been mental, so I've not been at the gym. I know what I need to do next week. I need to get my arse back in gear with tracking. It's because I didn't track that I was way off. I need to get back in the ball with drink more water. I haven't drank enough water. I'm hungover to fuck. I'm not drinking this week, and I need to get back to the gym. And I know if I do that, my weight will come down. And I just stood there and was like,
check-in done.
There we go. That's it. I don't even need to say it to you.
Yeah.
And she breezed in. And I love people like that, because no one's expecting perfection. I'm certainly not perfect. I don't expect my clients to be perfect, but just be authentic. Just say to me, it's been a shit week and we'll get you back on track. Like, don't, the minute you kid yourself, and I'm only saying this because I've kidded myself a lot in the past.
We've all done it.
We've all done it. I know my own bullshit, and even now I'll have days where I'll be like, I'm not going to the gym. I'll do the gym tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. It'll be fine. And then that wee voice is going, fucking shut up.
I know.
Who are you kidding, girl? Get your ass to the fucking gym.
Although I say that, I've never lied in a check-in with Ross. I coached with Ross for like 4 years, 5 years.
Yep.
And I never once lied in a check-in because I probably because I'm a coach, but I thought, he's going to know.
Of course he's
And
going to
also
know.
there was something in me that thought, see if I lie once and I get away with it, I'll lie the whole time.
Yeah.
So I thought, if I give myself that one time, and I could have lied once and got away with it because he would never know every single thing. Even when I was like, it was like, a bit in mine was like, how many drinks did you have if you drank?
Yeah.
And at the start, I was like...
Do shots
One.
count? Do they count? They're just a tiny wee...
One beer. So I was like, I have to write it in, and every weekend it held me so accountable to how much I was drinking, because I was like, I'm going to have to put that in that fucking sheet because 100%. I can't let myself lie. That's just... I'm a pure rule follower anyway, but I'm like, give me a rule, I'll follow.
But it is a good way of doing it.
Like, I thought, right, well, if I lie once, that's me. I know I'll get away with it. I'll lie forever. It breaks this code of trust. It breaks that trust that you've got with somebody. I just thought, no, I don't do it.
Yeah,
so,
and then the more you lie, the more you continue lying, and then it's like
you're like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, and that's
may as well go outside and put my money down.
We've all had clients that do that, and like I said, it's not that there's anything wrong with them. They're not bad people. We laugh because it's like, we've been there. We've done it. We're no stupid. It's like when I get a client that checks in and she's like, I know my weight's up this morning, it's because I'm due my period. And I'm like, oh, it's not because you were out all weekend and posting it on Instagram and you're fucking hungover to fuck. And we laugh about it and she'll be like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. Don't be blaming your period and your weight been up like 8 pounds. Who you trying to kid here?
I know.
Like, come on.
I know.
But you do, it's like you do your mum's face. See when you lie to your mum and she goes, all right. When clients do that, I'm like, all right, that way, aye. You should
have a good relationship with your coach. You should semi-fear them.
Of course you should.
There needs to be a hint of fear in there.
Fucking right.
Or else they're not your coach.
Yeah. But this is what it's all about, and this is the journey. And it's like, for anyone out there that is anxious about getting a coach, like, no one's expecting you to be a robot. No. And by the way, no progression is linear. You're going to have weeks where you're like, fucking weigh me. Check it out, look at my check-in, and then other days where you might come in and I'm saying I'm going to weigh you, and you're holding on to every surface possible to make yourself lighter. We've all done it. We know this shit. Do you know what I mean?
And you're also, everybody's getting a coach for a reason.
I know.
I have people that are like, oh God, like, you'll know what to coach me, or I'll be the worst client you've had. And I'm like, what do you think all these people are here for?
100%.
They're all here to get... You don't get a coach to go, I really want a pat in the back every week because I'm fucking great at this. That's it. You get a coach because you're like, I'm fucking teetering on the edge here. This is not working for me. Like, I need somebody to tell me what to do, kick my arse, help me, 100%. Show me what I'm doing wrong, change my thought patterns, whatever it may be. Like, that's why we're all got them. We're not got them to go, tell me I done good this week.
Aye, exactly.
Obviously you do want to get told you done good when you did good, but nobody's getting a coach for that.
No.
So don't be afraid to
no
get
one's
one.
going to get better that way.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I think, like, if you are thinking about it,
I think everyone should have a coach or experience having a coach, because what you'll learn coming away from that, it's like, I'll say to people, I've had clients who have worked with coaches before, and I'll take them in the gym and I'll say, we're going there, and I'm pointing to like a leg extension and they can't even tell me what it is, and I'm like,
I know, it's shocking.
If you leave me down the line and you don't have a knowledge of how to train around your own nutrition, around your cycle, around sleep hygiene and all this, like, I've not done my job. If you leave me and you don't know this shit, that's not a good coach. But the ones that do will still message me down the line and be like, Nikki, I still do that. I still know about this. And that's the best feeling in the world as a coach for me. When they say you've totally transformed the way I think about things. Yeah. It's the best feeling in the world.
It really is terrifying that there is some coaches out there that you think that's the calibre of service. Like, part of me's it's not. I was going to say part of me's jealous. I'm not. I would hate to coach like that. But it's, some people are literally just like, training plan, like, you know, a girl that I coached the other day was saying somebody that she was, one of her clients had a coach that doesn't give any nutrition advice. And she's on Manjaro. And she was like, she went, have you not told your coach? And she was like, no.
So how is she progressing then? Like, how are you getting a result?
Well, but some people do just, you know, in the gym for an hour.
So she's on Manjaro, I suppose.
Aye. So there's basic stuff you should be getting from a coach when you 100%. Have you should, number one, if you're, I would never sign up with a coach if you haven't had a consultation call with them.
100%.
Spoken to them on a one-to-one level just to see what you're actually getting for a start. If somebody signs you up without talking to you face to face and just takes your money, red flag.
100%.
You should have a call with somebody and for them to see if it's a good fit start. First of all, there should be a lot of stuff you're getting. You shouldn't just be getting a training plan, nutrition plan, whatever. You should be getting much more than that. There should be a process behind it.
Of course there should.
And if it seems a bit like transactional, like, cool mate, let's just get started, send me over £200 tomorrow and we'll get going. It's like,
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like, pushy, transactional, like, anything that comes across like that is like,
well,
no.
do you know what I find amazing, right? I was watching something the other day and it was talking about people that pick their coaches, right? And 9 times out of 10, right? I don't know if this is just because I'm in the industry. See, for me, a coach that has done their time, a coach that's done advanced learning, like, if you're going for brain surgery, you want to go to the best, don't you? You want to know that that person is on the ball with their shit. There's people out there that will pick a coach just because they look good. And it's like, but do you not want to know if they know their shit? Like, to me, I'd be like, oh, so what have you done? Like, tell me your knowledge. Like, to me, it's like, it's not just about what someone looks like. It's like, I want to know they've done advanced learning. I want to know they've been in the industry a while. I want to know that they've, do you know what I mean?
Or if they're just coming on and going, this is what I do and this is what you should do. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just come on and go, well, just do what I did, or you just need to stick to a plan and blah, blah. It's like, it's not, like, no, that's not helpful. That's not educational. That's not
100%.
Giving people tools. That's just saying, here's what I did, go and do that. Like,
100%, yeah.
Like, why can't you do that? Why can't you follow this plan? It's like, there's more to it. If somebody's not doing advanced learning, alarm bells.
I just don't get people. But you're taking these people's money. You're actually taking these souls' money that's putting, because was it me and you? Who was it that had done the course we were on? I think it was the M10 guys, and we were talking about how we work with people with so many health issues, right? So see, technically, I'm that bridge that's going to stop you seeing a doctor, right? If you come to me and you've got high cholesterol and I can get your cholesterol down, I'm that bridge that's just stopped you having a heart attack to go see a doctor. So I'm technically one of the most important people in your life. So you need to know that I know my shit. Yeah. Because that's the whole point. Coaches that don't do advanced learning and that are still doing stuff from years ago that don't matter anymore, like, that frightens me that they're working with people's health, but they've never went on to learn more about diabetes or about IBS or about, like, cholesterol or about all. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's frightening.
I had a female client tell me the other day who'll be watching this going, fuck, that's me, that told me that her last coach, who was a male, told her just to eat 500 calories a day more on the days she was on her cycle. Just, like, plucked a number out. 500 calories for a start. Way too many calories.
Yeah.
Secondly, where's that number came from?
Yeah, where has that
500 calories every day that you're on your cycle? No. Just generic, like, just went, the days you're on the cycle, just eat 500 calories extra.
That's bonkers.
Why?
That's bonkers.
Why?
See, this is why I want to do a whole thing on the cycle. There is a part of our cycle where we are in a higher calorie burning state, so you could be affording not 500, by the way.
Unless you're
not 500
on trend.
Yeah, but this is something that I really want us to dig deep to in another podcast and really go into it, because I think women would just be like, if they knew the knowledge on this. So this, we're not going to get down that rabbit hole right now.
But
we were going to cover all this because he's not wrong in the sense that there is a part of your cycle where you could consume more calories, but then my thought process is, but why do that when you could technically use that as a tool to benefit you more? Yeah. But we'll leave that, full stop that there. Yeah.
We'll just full stop it in general, I think, because we've probably rambled on for long enough.
Yeah, I think we have.
Hopefully we covered most of the stuff there.
I think we did.
I think we covered most of the questions. If there is questions that we didn't cover that you really want to know the answer on, then you can put the, like, messages both on Instagram and we'll just answer it across Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then next episodes, we're going to do this. I'm going to hold ourselves
accountable right now. We need the name. I know, we need the name first as well.
So remember, you get a free year of coaching with Mickey if you come up with a name. So good of you to do that. You're such a kind soul. And once we've got the name, but we're doing it every month.
Yes,
monthly podcast we're going to do, and we're going to pick a topic every month. So we'll maybe sometimes throw it out to you guys. Please. Probably for the first few, we'll just we've got plenty of ideas now. So
we're pretty good now. Yeah.
a lot of them female-based, health-based, physiology-based, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll go through, and it'll be good at some point to get other folk on as well.
Oh, definitely. But also, guys, like, we really appreciate all your feedback.
Yeah.
Because it makes this make it better for you.
100%.
So ideally, if you could please just give us all your feedback. Any negative feedback, put it on Luz.
That's fine.
Write it on.
Because I'll tell you what I think, so that's fine by me.
She will. Brutally. But yeah, we really appreciate all the feedback, guys. And obviously, if you could share this with your friends and stuff like that as well, it would be amazing.
Definitely. Yeah, share it about as much as possible.
Yeah.
The more traction we get, the more likely we are to do more and more and more.
Yeah,
so
please.
Share it on your stories, do whatever you can, just post it about, tell all your pals, your mums. Tell the generation that don't have YouTube to watch this.
Yes, please.
Because it's informative.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Catch you in the next one. Peace out for the Goths.